All right, so I had to do this all over again because I received an error that the stream went down. So, try this one more time. Welcome back to Motivation Monday Live. I'm Carl Jacoby. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to acknowledge every veteran tuning in today. Today isn't just another Monday, it's Veterans Day, a day to honor the men and women who've worn a uniform, who fought the battles most people will never understand. And I say this not just as a coach, but as a combat veteran myself. Some of those battles happen overseas, but the hardest ones happen after we come home. The war in your mind, the fight for purpose after the mission ends. To my brothers and sisters, thank you. You are not forgotten. Now, if you clicked on this video, there's a good chance you're fighting a battle that nobody else can see. Maybe you're grinding 80-hour weeks, but still feel like you're falling behind. Maybe you know exactly what you need to do. Eat better, wake up earlier, be more present with your family. But every week you tell yourself, I'll start Monday. And Monday comes and goes. Maybe you're successful on paper, but man, you just feel empty inside. Maybe you're tired of being tired, tired of making promises to yourself that you just keep breaking. If that's you, you're in the right place. Because for the next hour, we're not just talking about motivation. In fact, we're not talking about motivation because motivation fades. We're talking about what carries you when motivation dies. If you're watching this live, which I pray you are, drop one word in the chat. What's the one thing you keep saying you'll do but haven't done yet? I want to know. I'm not just talking to myself here. So, yes, drop the one thing in the comments. I'll actually respond to you to let you know I'm live. At least I hope I am. But drop one word. I want to see it. Now, listen, there's no magic pill here. There's no magic pill I'm selling you, but there is a way out of this cycle. And it starts with understanding why you keep sabotaging yourself, even when you know better. So, grab your coffee or espresso. That's my personal fave. Silence the phone and let's figure out how to finally become the person you keep promising yourself to be. Before we go further, quick reminder if you haven't already, check out the 5-Day Unstoppable Challenge. Join it, check it out. Make sure you do, please. It's where we take these lessons, learn, and turn them into action. It's a 5-day live experience with yours truly to reset your focus, rewire your mindset, and reignite your fire. You can check out the details through the 5dayunstoppablechallenge.com. Again, that's 5dayunstoppablechallenge.com. It's also displayed on the screen, which I haven't done that. So it is what it is. But it's also in the comments as well. We literally just wrapped up last week's challenge. So the site may still have up the old dates, but the new and final round, the new and final round for the year will be starting December 8th. This will be the last one for the year. More likely, I may not even do these ever again. Since starting these challenges, I gotta say, it's been the most amazing experience, not only for me, but for for all the participants that participates in these challenges. It's been really mind blowing and quite an honor to watch the profound changes that occurs day 1, 2, 3. Those probably the most impactful days. Then, obviously, we use day 4 and 5 to carry that momentum, unstoppable momentum. But I encourage everybody to check it out. Unstoppable 5dayunstoppablechallenge.com. All right, before I get started, I wanted to share this because it really dovetails into what I'm jamming on today. I went to church yesterday morning, and the message hit me like, well, like most of them do, right? But unlike others, well, a lot of them, and let me preface, like I already had content lined up for this today's live stream. I had this lined up mid last week. So when I heard yesterday's message, I had goosebumps. And this isn't the first time that this has happened. But let me say, isn't it weird how when we hear the message at church, we think to ourselves, man, did they put a wire in my house? Like, how did he know? Because nearly every one of these messages is like he's talking directly to me. So today is going to be extra fire because I want you to hear some of that message that hit me just as well. And I like to theme every call around something surreal or around something real, not just fluff, nothing of that sort, but something that real that you can take home and apply in every area of your life. So this week is no different. So that being said, today's theme is around the success trap. When achievement becomes a prison. You see, I spent half my life chasing success. And when I finally caught it, I realized I've been running in the wrong direction. You see, we live in a culture that celebrates the grind. Now, bear with me. Let me explain. Don't get too harsh on me right now. Just get warmed up. Every post, every quote, every highlight reel tells us that more is the answer. More money, more followers, more action, more accolades, more. But what happens when more leaves you feeling less? That's the trap, my friends. The success trap. It's when your achievements start to own you. When success becomes a substitute for self worth. When you stop building from purpose and start performing for approval. I've been there. Some of you know my story. Many of you may not. If you haven't, I encourage you to check out my latest YouTube video. I'll drop in the show notes if you're watching YouTube. But I know what it feels like to have everything you thought you wanted and still feel empty inside. So today, I want to break down the 3 parts of this trap: the trap, the collapse, and then, of course, the rebuild. So you can recognize where you are and start finding your way out. That's my goal. I want everybody to find their way out. Not just to be able to identify the trap, see the collapse, but also to rebuild. Hopefully, way before I acknowledged it. So, that being said, let's get started, shall we? So, let's take the stage with the first one: the trap. This is, when I say the trap, the most invisible war most high achievers are fighting isn't against failure. It's against the feeling not enough. The world rewards performance, not peace. So we learn to equate achievement with value. Now, don't get me wrong, that mindset does work until it doesn't. You see, I wasn't building a business or businesses, I was building a monument for my own insecurity. Have you ever felt like no matter how much you accomplish, it's never enough? Like the finish line just keeps moving every time you get close. It's almost like that donkey with with a carrot. When your identity depends on achievement, peace becomes impossible because you can't rest without feeling guilty. If you're able and willing, Do me a huge solid. I love to hear. Hello, let me try that one more time. My brain glitched. Love to hear from you in the chat. How is this resonating? Just drop one word or emoji. And yes, I'm really one word emoji. And yes, like I said, I'm actually live. And I'll call them out to show you I'm live. This isn't just some live broadcast. And if you're watching the replay, obviously it's not live. All right, so let's dive into segment 2 where we talk about the collapse. All right. Now let's dive into this a little bit. Emojis. Awesome. Thank you. It's a sign of broken boundaries. Success can camouflage suffering, especially when you look fine. I say fine to everyone else. The greater the external achievement, the easier it is to hide the internal decay. I know this strategy all too well, unfortunately. I remember at one point I was in a hospital for heart problems. This was in my early 30s, mind you. Early 30s. I don't remember exactly how old I was. That moment, I realized I wasn't dying from despair. Not peace. Just to give some perspective here, my phone was not too far from me. And my sister Laura came in to visit me in the hospital. And she was looking at my phone. My phone was blazing, notifications after notification. In fact, it was this time. In fact, because it was right around Q4. I was heavy in Q4 groups and all these other kinds of things that we do in e-commerce. And I'm still trying to live life. Just trying to do everything else. And notifications were just like literally, maybe not literally, but every 5 minutes or every 5 seconds. Ding, ding, ding. That was a moment for me. I realized I had to change. Again, I was dying from living without peace. I had no peace. In fact, I just had an amazing conversation with an entrepreneur not even too long ago, before this live stream. Talking about how important, especially for me in this season of life, peace is everything. Peace is everything. Not, you can have all the money in the world, all the possessions in the world. You can have a beautiful Lamborghini. You can have all these amazing vehicles. By the way, I can't fit in the freaking Lamborghinis or Ferraris. So there you go. But you can have a lot. But if it comes at the sacrifice of peace, it's not enough. I'm telling you from personal experience, my friends. I carry my survival wiring into business. That endurance that once saved me became the pattern that nearly destroyed me. You see, you can't keep burning yourself out and pretend it's for your family, your team, or your mission, or whatever it is that you tell yourself. That's not service. That's avoidance dressed up as sacrifice, my friends. Come on. How do I know? Because I lived that life for a very long time. Most of us are serving from a deficit. This is part of the mess. I mean, there's actually a guest pastor at our church. And this is ironic of timing. It's almost like he knew I was doing this. Of course, he knew, right? But most of us, again, are serving from a deficit. And let me explain. We're parenting from a deficit, right? We're leading teams from a deficit. We're building our businesses from a deficit. We're loving our partners and parents from a deficit. We're showing up for our friends from a deficit. We're overdrawn emotionally, physically, and spiritually instead of slowing down to refuel. We call it being driven. Then we wonder why we're resentful, exhausted, and secretly hoping someone will rescue us from the life we built. My friends, you were never meant to constantly give from an empty cup and call that integrity. Real integrity is when your effort matches your capacity. When your service flows from a full identity and not from fear of not being enough. What would happen if you stop proving yourself for just 1 week? Proving yourself to your parents, your spouse or ex-spouse, coworkers, business partners, or prior, or teachers in grade school, high school, college, you name it. What would your world or would your world fall apart? Or would it finally start to make sense? I mean, after it didn't for me for 40 years. 40 flipping years. You know what I had to realize? I need to make the person I see in the mirror proud. That's it. For the longest part of my life, I was chasing a ghost. I was chasing to hear words from a ghost that I would never hear. Like I said, many of you know my story, many of you do not. I'm not going to dive into that today. I would encourage you to watch, I forget which video it was, either the most recent one or the one before that, of how I dive into that story a little bit. And hey, real quick reminder, if this message is hitting home, then you would love, yes, I'm going to say this again, you will love the 5-Day Unstoppable Challenge. It's a live 5-day experience. And I'm telling you, it's truly an experience. I call this an experience because it's not about information, but rather transformation. It's 5 days to rewire how you think, how you lead, and how you live. Check out the details at 5dayunstoppablechallenge.com, or you can click on a link in the comments. And listen, let's do this together, right? And again, once again, I would love to hear from you because believe it or not, you engaging with me with everything that, the emojis, the comments, everything you're dropping right now. Now, if you're dropping this on social media, I can't see that. But if you're watching via YouTube, I can see it, the comments. But I love to hear in the chat, how is this resonating? Just drop one word or emoji, how this is resonating with you. It could be a fire emoji, it could be it hits, it could be goosebumps, it could be any of this, right? Seeing your engagement juices me up. It lets me know that one, I'm not just actually talking to myself, but it juices me up, lets me know that it's resonating with you. May not be all of you, but I hope it at least resonates with one person. Now, let's dive into the rebuild phase. This is something that took me probably longer than it should. Pain can be fuel, but suffering is a choice. Detach your worth from your work or bank account. Performance is what you do. Your worth is who you are at the core. Redefine success based on this season of life. What matters now may not be what mattered before. And some of your season maybe some of you you're navigating so many changes in your business, in your family, in your health, and your finances. And listen, I get it, been there. But God's bringing you through a season for a reason. And yes, I just realized I'm a poet and didn't know it. But growth doesn't happen in comfort. Friction is the proof that you're emotion, that you're stretching limits of who you used to be. But there's a difference between growing into something or growing through something and living in it. Big distinction. Pain can be one of the greatest teachers of your life, but only if you listen. Pain says this way of living isn't sustainable. Pain says this story you're telling yourself is killing you. Pain says you're out of alignment with who you were built to be. Am I hitting you yet? Am I hitting some nerves yet? Am I giving you some goosebumps yet? Good, because that's what it did me. You see, suffering is what happens when you hear all of that and decide to keep going anyway, like I did for over 40 years. You see, and pain is inevitable. Pain is absolutely inevitable. But suffering is when we choose to stay in a pattern that's already destroying us because changing feels scarier than hurting. Sounds actually counterintuitive in a way. Somebody just says, yeah, I'm feeling it. Good, me too. I'm still feeling it. I'm still feeling it. You see, pain is the language of growth. But you were never meant to live fluently in it. Learn the lesson, graduate from it, then move forward fuller, not emptier. I heard an amazing excerpt from Leila Hormozi talking about the graduation. Like, we are taught lessons on purpose, on design. And when we felt we have not been taught the lesson, we keep going back and repeating until we graduate from that lesson to the next one. I'm sure I just butchered that to a degree. So, Leila, if you're watching this, which would be amazing if you were, we have purpose by design. So don't be afraid, my friends, to grow. Don't be afraid, my friends, of the friction. I thought slowing down would make me weak, guilty even. But I realized it and grasped it. It made me unstoppable. Sounds weird, right? Sounds counter. Of deficit, it does make you unstoppable. 100 flipping percent. Better. Ever think of that? Mind blown. Yeah, I experienced that too. Because in my earlier days, man, I was all over the place. All over the place. Grinding, 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 grinding. I was good at that. Always good at that. I'll wrap this up by saying that pain is feedback, not identity. Growth demands, let me say this again, growth demands friction, not destruction. Serving from fullness brings peace, not resentment. Real love and leadership flow from wholeness, not wounds. Pain is a teacher, not a master. Service must flow from fullness, not fear. Growth does not demand destruction. It actually demands awareness. So here's my challenge to you. I'm challenging myself. As I'm talking to you live, I'm also talking to myself. So don't ever think I'm on a pedestal here. This week, ask yourself one question every night before you go to bed. Am I building from purpose? Or am I proving from pain? Let me give you an example. For the longest part of my life, I was trying to prove my mother wrong and hopefully hear 3 words. I see you. I'm proud of you. I love you. But I never heard them. And even after she had passed away, I was still hopefully, which sounds stupid, I know, but still, hopefully, I would hear those words. So much time wasted. Instead of just being present and be able to serve from and be able to prove myself in the mirror. That's it. That's all you got to prove is a person you see in a mirror every single day. That's all you got to prove. You were better than 1% yesterday. That's it. Not your loved ones, not your business partners, not your coworkers, not your friends, especially not on social media. Because all you're doing is comparing yourself to everybody's highlight reels. That's it. So I ask you again, am I building from purpose or proving from pain like I did for so many flipping years? Write it on a sticky note and put it on your mirror, put it wherever you're going to see it. Don't be that ostrich in the sand. Don't not see this. I want you to look at this as though your life depends on it. Why? Because it does. This future life that you're chasing, the life that God has designed you for, does. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, it just took me over 40 years to learn that. So I pray that it doesn't take you that long. I pray that this hits you and you finally realize this is the moment. This is the time. Don't wait till New Year's Eve. Don't wait till New Year's Day. Don't wait till next Monday. Do it now. Write on a sticky note. Put it on your mirror. And every day this week, let that question guide your decisions. Let it guide your actions. Let it guide your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. It's likely to not be easy. Look, this growth is not easy at all. So I say again, it'll likely not be easy, but it'll be far freaking worth it. And it's absolutely necessary if you want that void to be filled. Absolutely, if you want that void to be filled. Don't miss any other events. Don't miss any more time with the family. Don't miss any more lasts or firsts because you think you're grinding for somebody else's approval. My friends, life is too short. Way too short. You're taking for granted you're going to have tomorrow. You may not. Not to be dark or sad, but that's the truth. So, my friends, if today hit home, don't just move on, move forward. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss out on a future content, live streams, or anything else I do on YouTube or any other social media platforms. And make sure you join the Friday Fire newsletter. I send out a newsletter every Friday with some knowledge bombs, lessons learned, something to pour into you to give you value to incorporate into your life. Because I'm of the belief that Friday, too many people check out because it is Friday. Trust me, I get it. I lived that life for a long time where I checked out on Friday and use the weekend just to pretty much erase all the momentum I made during the week. So, my friends, don't be that person. Be that type of person who on Friday, you're still locked in. Saturday, you're still locked in. Sunday, you're still locked in because 28% of our time is on weekends. 28%. And every Friday, I send something real, something you can feel, because this is more than content, guys. This is a movement. That's the wrap, my friends. Thank you all for spending your time with me. Be blessed. Be unstoppable. I'll see you all next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern.